Hello everybody, and welcome to the Thursday edition of Video Clips, and I want to talk about children's health. I'm getting more and more alarmed about what I see and read, and more concerned about whether or not we're going to find a way to fix this in time. But the latest is, according to a study published in the journal Pediatrics, boys are now experiencing early puberty. And of course, I've talked about girls and precocious puberty before, but now boys are experiencing it too. This study involved 4,131 boys, and it basically showed that there were some differences according to race, but that boys were experiencing puberty 2 years earlier than they used to. And this again mirrors the experience of westernized girls, girls in westernized society. And just by a quick comparison, the average age of menarche, beginning menstrual periods in rural China when Colin Campbell was doing his research there, was age 17, and today in the United States it's age 11, and this will scare the heck out of you. At age 3% of African American girls and 1% of white girls in the United States have early breast development and or pubic hair. 16% of girls enter puberty by the age of 7 and 30% by the age of 8. I mean, we're really seeing young women developing in, housing minds of very young children. So why is this happening? Well, it's the same reason for boys and girls. It's the meat and dairy laden diet that we're consuming in this country. Dairy products particularly are a risk factor because dairy products come from pregnant and lactating cows. They contain estrogen and estrogen metabolites. I'll refer you to studies that are posted in the Health Briefs online library, which you can read more about this, but the bottom line is tests show that they all contain estrogen and estrogen metabolites. Dairy products have become a concentrated source of dietary estrogen for children and adults in our country. Not to mention the conventionally grown animal foods that are plumped up with antibiotics, steroids, and hormones, and the residues of those products are in the meat that our kids and adults are consuming. Obesity is also an issue. Fat cells produce sex hormones, which can contribute not only to early puberty, but also increased risk of reproductive cancers. So when we have children going through puberty at such a young age, we have a host of problems ranging from plain embarrassment. I mean, I hated being a kid enough without having that to contend with. Earlier sexual activity, unplanned and high-risk pregnancies, children born to teenage parents who are really ill-equipped, both emotionally and financially, to take care of them. I mean, this is just a bad idea all around. And it's one more reason why we have to pay attention to what's going on with our kids. I mean, I agree with Dr. McDougall. When we overfeed protein, fat, and junk food to kids until they're sick and obese, that is child abuse. Now, we intervene. I hate government intervention. You guys hear me talk about this all the time. But we intervene when children are abused in other ways. And I think we're going to probably have to have some interventions in this area too. There are a couple of instances where children have been removed from their home because mothers have let 8-year-olds grow to 350 pounds and that sort of thing. And I don't know what else we can do if these people are not capable of recognizing what an awful thing they're doing to their children. So I'm going to keep talking about it, and I'm going to keep trying to do something about it until we solve this awful problem, because it's just incredibly distressing for me to see. So get involved with our foundation. We are really gearing up to do some cool stuff with schools and teachers and interested parents. And boy, if you want more information on how to help us, send me an email at pampopper@msn.com. All right, so I'm going to move on to another topic. You know, if you think the Affordable Care Act is going to make insurance more affordable or accessible, you need to think again. According to, I'll just tell you the latest, but there are huge issues with this. An article in the Cleveland Plain Dealer reported that Ohio-based colleges are announcing, many of them, that they're being forced to cancel their student health plans because of increases in premiums. A couple of examples: Baldwin-Wallace University, the annual premium for student health insurance used to be $400. It went up 500% to $2,000. Hiram College, premium increased from $450 to $1,350. 40% of the kids dropped their health coverage, and the college is investigating a self-funded plan. Now that's problematic, and I'll come back to that in a second. So why is this happening? The Affordable Care Act requires college-sponsored plans to offer the same benefits that all other plans are going to be required to offer within the next year. They have to include free preventive care like useless mammograms and increased maximum coverage limits. Today, about 2,000 colleges offer these plans, but according to a 2000 report by an insurance association, many colleges are going to drop their plans and insurance companies that provide them are going to go out of business. Steve Jones, CFO of Hiram College, said, I love this quote, he says, the irony is that it's the Affordable Care Act and the costs have gone up significantly. Well, I'm not surprised. Let's think about it for a minute. As it turns out, free preventive care insurance companies have to offer is not free. Go figure. Somebody has to pay, and almost all policyholders are seeing increases in their premiums to compensate for this. And increased coverage limits are also not free. The way insurance works is that premiums are based on the risks that insurance companies take. So if they have to pay out more money, they have to raise the insurance premium rates. Some colleges are considering self-insurance, I mentioned that before, but it will actually make coverage less available because self-insured plans can turn people away for pre-existing conditions, unlike the plans offered through regular insurance companies. So this was the whole thing the Affordable Care Act was designed to avoid in the first place. Well, in my opinion, this is just the beginning of the gradual dismantling of this terribly ill-conceived law. 2,000 waivers have been granted to unions and employers already. 33 states have refused to set up exchanges. The fund that was supposed to insure people who were not able to get insurance until the mandate came in 2014 went broke 14 months early. And many companies are in the process of dismantling their plans because they don't have any choice. The qualifications for subsidies for family coverage were erroneously outlined in the bill, and either a law needs to be passed to correct these requirements, or most of the people who really need assistance won't get it, and many more will need assistance because of the rising insurance premiums. It's really a mess. But here is perhaps the most take-home point. I always look for the silver lining in the cloud. This is a mess. I wish it would go away. But people have got to get more focused than ever on achieving and maintaining optimal health. The current healthcare system is in the process of self-destruction and has been for a long time. ObamaCare is just going to speed up this whole process. While the system will always find a way to pay for emergency care, the funds for chronic degenerative diseases are just drying up. And the most healthy people have the best chance of surviving this mess. The people in worst health will be hurt the worst by it. So I think we can use this as a motivation to tell people, you better get yourself healthy, because if you think you're going to count on this mess of a system we have right now, you need to think again. Well, that's it for today and this week. Feel free to pass this on to anybody who you think ought to watch it, and I'll be back to you next week. Have a great day and a great weekend.